This is Ramirez with Tugboat Renaissance Fighting Arts. I'm doing a review today. I just got back from the King's Cup longsword and sword tournament in DC, and I actually placed 7th in Veterans Longsword, which I was actually very happy with. And this is the longsword that got me there. This is the Chlebowski, Symon Chlebowski. It's the Dragazes Feder. It has a lot of unique qualities. I really like the design. To give you some basic stats, I think it's 550 approximate grams, 1550 grams. It is 130 centimeters in length, and it's just really a nice sword. And it has some different qualities. Up till now, I've just been using the Purple Heart Tournament Feders, so this was my first foray into some of the nicer Feders that are out there. As such, it's not cheap. It lists on HEMA Supplies for $625. But I think that it's well spent. One of the qualities about it that I like, obviously from a visual standpoint, is the hilt and the blade itself. And I think the blade's worth talking about because it does have a double fuller. And as you can see, unlike other double fullers, that really does go to the end of the weapon. And that just gives it a behavior that's a little different than if it's just a straight, flat blade. You can see that the guard, you can see the hilt has a little bit of an interesting design. Then it has these twists on the quillons of the guard. It has a leather-wrapped pommel. It does have kind of a wire through there as well as a riser halfway through. And then it has this pommel, and the pommel is actually very beautiful. If you get close enough, you kind of see it is a peened tang. They peened it, and then they put the various tooling into the pommel. But you might be able to see that rough circle there, but that all matches. It can dig into my hands if I'm not wearing gloves, but it does give me a very nice grip if I want to grip the pommel when I'm actually sparring and wearing gloves. Step back a little bit. Balance is, I say about 5 cm. I think that it's, yeah, probably a little bit more. So I'm trying to get that balance point. I think that's roughly there. But it does feel a lot more back weighted, which if you are used to handling it from the pommel, it tends to transition very nice, very quickly into short edge cuts and long edge cuts. And that's something I don't experience when I'm using it like with the pommel and a lot of others. This tends not to work as well, but gripping this heavier pommel and letting that flip is actually very easy to make those cuts and makes it very light and very fast. It's also, because of the fullard, it has a very wide in comparison to other blades as far as the thickness because of those fullers on the blade, which means that it does deliver a little bit more power than some of the other Feders that are out there. I really like that. You can see that thickness throughout, so it's not like it's very thin. It does taper outwardly towards the hilt. And I feel like that gives me a good degree of control, especially if someone's going to my strong. And for flex, that fullering, well, still it will flex, but you'll be aware, and I have spoken with people that have thrust with this weapon, that it's not necessarily hard, but you'll know you've been hit, which is kind of good if you're just sparring with individuals that they know. They'll be able to call that hit and say, yeah, I definitely got thrust with that weapon. So once again, this is the Symon Chlebowski, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Dragazes Feder. It is the higher end on their designs. They have a basic Feder that just has one fuller in it, and that's, I think, a little over $400. This one with the double Feder is a little over $600. If you're in the United States, you can get this through HEMA Supplies. If you're in Europe, you can contact Symon directly. And that's all I have to say about that. As I said, I enjoy it. It's kind of my new favorite Feder. So I hope that if you're looking at it and you have other questions about it, I will leave links to how to get it And obviously, you can leave any comments in the description. Once again, this is Ramirez with Tide Rod Renaissance Fighting Arts, and I will see you in the next video.